This kid is on a rocket ship to superstardom. You know him as Suga. I call him Sean O'Malley, and I'm feeding him pitas on this week's Food Truck Diaries.
I've never actually even had a food truck.
In LA, like some of the best food comes from
I believe it. I'm gonna do a wrap with chicken. I'll do some feta cheese and the Greek.
I'll do the pita sandwich with shawarma. Extra hot sauce. Can I get a side of falafels? I bet those sliders are gnarly, huh? Excellent, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
How you feeling, man?
I feel like a champ. 2 back-to-back first-round KOs, no injuries. It feels good.
Nothing.
Feels good, no injuries.
You're on this weird kind of skyrocket course to superstardom. You feel that?
Yeah, I felt it before, because I fought Terry on my debut, won. Not the finish that I was used to. I'm used to knocking people out. So going all three rounds, it was a little different.
Good for you, though.
It was I look back at that fight and I learned so much about myself in that fight. And then I fight Andre, and I'm on the pay-per-view, so I'm already and I'm 22, I'm feeling like a superstar. I'm feeling like I'm on that same rocket ship I'm on right now. And I broke my foot, and then I was out for 2 years dealing with all that bullshit. So I was on that rocket ship, and then it just got delayed a little bit, but we started right back where we left off. And
but I feel like that delay, that 2 years where you're dealing with the bullshit USADA stuff, it was almost healthier for you.
Dude.
You know what I'm saying? Because you could work on your skills. Because if you look at your fights before the 2-year layoff, you were a monster. Then you look now, there's more. You just have a different swagger to you, a little more in the arsenal.
Dude, I look back at that whole thing, and it was such a positive experience.
Yes.
The amount of jiu-jitsu I got to work, I dedicated my entire life. I was doing jiu-jitsu, that's it. I was focused on jiu-jitsu, training with guys like Augusto Mendez, who won ADCC World last year.
Stud.
Training with him for his camps for that tournament. And I was one of his main partners. So I was doing jiu-jitsu a lot, got on a strict strength and conditioning program. I put on 8-9 pounds of muscle,
Jesus
good quality
Christ.
muscle, all in the right places for an MMA athlete. It was based on how can I become the best me. Because I feel like I'm such a good athlete.
Yeah.
And if I just get my skill level, my skill sets down, I feel like I really could be one of the best to ever fight.
Does the notoriety and it's pretty quick path to fame, does it scare you at all?
No, it was nice going back to that Andre fight. I kind of blew up a little bit there, and I got to deal with all that fame before it really took off to where it's at right now. But even just walking around here, people honking, Suga, knock out Cody, just yelling shit.
Yeah.
And then being down on the beach and people coming up, I fucking love it. I enjoy that so much. It's super fun, and I feel like I got my head in a good spot to where I'm not letting it get to me.
Yeah.
And I'm not I'm not treating other people different. And I feel like everything's going good right now. But I do think a lot of it was because of those 2 years I had to take off and learn a lot about myself.
Do you hear the Conor McGregor comparisons?
I do, and it's sweet to be compared to Conor. Like Conor, everyone called Conor out in their division. Everyone's calling me out in my division, so they're super similar in like that. People see that, I think, similar confidence, because with true confidence, you can see it in someone.
It's not fake.
Right, and I think, I do feel like we have that similarity.
Also the stand-up, the way you move a little bit, and just, kind of I feel like, especially in this last fight and the fight before that, it's almost like it doesn't matter what the guy does. Like, you guys have this, you're almost 2 steps ahead. And I think the fans and the analysts, you can kind of see it.
Yeah, I think the part that we're most similar is kind of the calmness going into the fights.
Yeah.
I think we have a similar mindset of going into the fight, knowing the more calm, for me, the more calm I am, the more dangerous I am. So I'm in the back, just chilling, super calm, going into the fight super calm. And I think that's where we're super similar. But as far as striking skill set, he's mainly southpaw, long, likes his teep, likes his left hand, doesn't really switch to orthodox.
No.
I can literally do anything from this stance to this stance, and I can knock you out with any limb.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like...
You're staying a little more, diverse.
Yeah.
I think with Conor, what makes him special, and you have a similar trait, is it's the timing.
That's it.
Conor's timing on that left hand and his anticipation is just,
Yeah. Timing, dude, like he said, timing, I think, what did he say, timing beats speed?
All day.
Dude, that's where I knock people out. I don't hit hard. I don't look like I hit hard. I hit people.
There's something going on there because the timing's there, but you also have to hit pretty fucking hard.
I do have that.
Because listen,
snap.
man, Eddie Wineland, say what you want about him. My friends bet big money on the fights, and when they asked about your fight, I went, Suga's gonna beat him, but Eddie Wineland, you're talking about a former WC champ, a guy who's been there with the best. He's been in there with studs before, so I think it's take Suga a little while to feel him out. He'll get him out there, but if you have to put money on it, I think the over/under was 2.5 rounds.
Yeah.
I said bet on the over.
Yeah.
I think it was past 2.5 rounds. Suga learns from this, and gets the win, late KO or decision.
Yeah,
and you were like, cool story. Put all your money on that. Sick
I told everyone.
And all my boys lost their money.
I told everyone bet first round knockout.
Why?
Every single.
Where is this from?
Because if I take myself out of me and say, okay, I'm gonna look at this skill set versus this skill set. And I know how good my skill set is. I'm technical. I'm long, so I'm longer than him, and I'm faster than him. And I show up to fight. I don't ever have an issue with, if I don't show up.
You never have an off night.
I show up every single night, and I always have.
How many fights have you had?
Over 30. Like amateur, boxing, MMA, kickboxing.
And you've never had an off night where like
I've lost 2 amateur fights, but it's not because I was off night. It was because I got out-skilled. I got taken down.
You were young.
I didn't know jiu-jitsu, and I got submitted.
But you've never been back in the locker room being like, I don't feel like doing this, or I don't.
Maybe younger in my career, but those last. Well, even in my debut, I remember for a split second, I'm like kind of closing my eyes. I'm like, damn, if I lose this and then another, I could get cut. But that was literally the only kind of thought I had, and I navigated my thoughts to think positive and not think like that. But for the most part, I mean, especially with those last 2 fights, I'm like, I'm good. I'm gonna take these dudes out.
I don't. It's not an arrogance because it's not fair to say. It's not a cockiness because that's not fair to say. Because a lot of people, they'll look at fighters, and when you're talking about your fight, like, oh, he's so cocky.
Yeah.
That's not cocky. It's a confidence in your skill set.
Yeah.
And it's hard, I think, for the average viewer to realize that that's not cockiness. It comes from the amount of work you put in, and you're aware of the capabilities you have.
Yeah. And
you're like, oh, you're so cocky, you knock him out. It's like, no. I know what I do, and I know it's not good enough.
Right.
He's not good enough to beat.
Yeah, I watched him fight. I never really watched him fight. I knew who he was. I watched a couple minutes of him versus Frankie Saenz, literally probably a couple minutes, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna knock this dude out. His hands are down.
Yeah.
If your hands are down with me, I'm gonna hit you in the chin. You're getting knocked out. That's just how it is when you have someone that's faster than you and throws good, tight punches.
Yeah,
and
you
kicks.
don't waste movement.
Yeah,
which is a huge thing.
Going into that fight, I was super confident. I didn't have any injuries going into the fight, which was fucking huge. But I didn't spar as much either, on purpose.
Which is a blessing.
It is, because the more I spar, the more injured I am, the less ready I feel for the fight.
And you know what? Also, I think a lot of young guys need to hear this. And you saying that, like, I was talking to my old buddy Shane Carwin a while ago. We wasted so much in the gym sparring each other because of our egos, and we used to take these big shots. Nobody got knocked out, but I don't care who you are. You only get a certain amount of shots.
Yeah.
So we wasted so much. I want to say just that magic sauce in the training room where we should have brought it over and saved it just for the performances.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I agree with that
100%.
100%. It's nice I sparred just enough in my sparring partners. I'm like, hey, dude, we're not trying to fucking knock each other out. If one of us gets rocked or something, we're good. We don't need to take each other out.
No.
So I have a good relationship with all my sparring partners. And there was a time a couple camps ago where I did get rocked. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna finish this round. I don't need to.
Oh, smart.
Because I'm not, like Jason Perillo said, I think, it takes confidence to take a day off.
Preach,
And
man.
I'm like, dude, I'm taking more days off. The better shape I get in closer to the fight, the less days I need to take off, because the better I'm recovering. But and when I'm starting camp, if I trained hard 2 days in a row, and I'm like, dude, I don't think I should train that. I think I'll get injured. I'll take that day off, and I'll work on other stuff, breath work, and all that other stuff, active recovery.
And I think that's a sign of maturity, because I think our insecurities and a lot of guys' insecurities made us overtrain.
Absolutely. I've been there. I was that.
Yes.
I definitely was there. And I don't know what switched, but I'm like, dude, I'm not going into these fights like I should be. If I'm healthy and I'm as athletic as I can be, I'm one of the most athletic fighters on the roster, I feel like, as far as the movements I can do and the explosiveness that I have.
Yeah.
So like if I can get to the fight healthy,
dude,
I'm dangerous.
half the battle.
In
Hell
those
yeah.
last 2 fights, I was in those fights 100% healthy, and I'm taking these dudes out in less than
you
2
can
minutes.
tell too.
So
What do you weigh right now?
I haven't checked since the fight. I would.
You're thin, dude.
Yeah, I'd say 56.
So with the comparisons to Connor and all this stuff, can I tell you what, as a fan and someone who cares about you, because we've been talking for a while now, something that scares me is when, because you check all the boxes, right? There's some people are drawn to you. Rogan explained this on the broadcast, that there's something about when Sean O'Malley fights, people are drawn to you. And there's nothing like, either you have it or you don't.
Yeah.
And certain guys have it, you have it. So people are drawn to you to fight, which means you're going to become a big star. You're already a star, even bigger, sky's the limit. But when, the UFC brass sees that, they go, oh, we got one. And then you have, you had Eddie Wineland, which was a great fight, knocked him out. You starched him. So now it's, and he ranked 15 now. So now it's like, do they toss you a Cody Garbrandt?
No, I heard.
Do they toss you a fucking Jose Aldo? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what you're doing
Yeah.
right now is my favorite Sean O'Malley. Like, not knowing, is he going to pass the test?
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's going to go to this with Eddie Wineland. Nope. Boom, knocks
Yeah.
him out. Like, the unexpected is what's dope. So my concern is they toss you to the top 5, like, next fight. So then it's off to the races.
Yeah.
Instead of building, like you look at a boxer's career. By the time they fight somebody who's going to take them the distance or give them Fritz, they're 30 pro fights in, man.
Right.
So it's like, let's build this kid. Let's fucking, I mean, when you look, what stars do we have left? You have Connor, who, he's the biggest star that they've ever had. He, he's in and out, but, has his whiskey he's making a jagillion dollars off of, and he might come back. You have Khabib, who's talking about retiring after 1 or 2 more fights. John Jones is lingering around, but he has his issues. So there's not really a huge star.
Yeah.
So then it's like the spotlight goes like this, zunk. And so my as someone who cares about you, it's like, man, I hope they don't talk from the top 5 right now.
Yeah.
Not that you can't beat
Right,
them,
that's
because
the
you
thing.
probably do pretty well.
That's the thing.
My problem is like, dude, let's enjoy this journey.
Yeah.
Like you could get 10 years out of Sean O'Malley
Right.
instead of 4.
No.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about fighting the top 5, it's like, okay, I knock out Cody. Now I can fight number 4, 3, 2, or 1. But these guys are fighting. This guy's injured. I can't fight him. Now I can't fight for 6 months.
Not as active.
And I want
Once you're in the top 5,
dude,
you can't fight number 10.
No,
you can't fight number 12. You can't
Right.
fight 15.
That's the thing. No, yeah. So and Dana was just saying this on the Schmoes podcast. Like, no, we can't. We're not gonna have him fight Cody right now, because if he beats him, then what? Now he's.
That's what I'm saying.
And I agree with that. But in like the fighter, because I have a businessman in me and I have a fighter in me. The fighter's like, let's fucking fight these top guys. I can take them out. The businessman in me's like, let's take it how we've been taking it. Let's fight Cheeto next, who's potentially another easy fight in my head. Like,
That's
I'm
a
not
great
saying
fight. He's
I'm
a
not
monster.
saying he's not good. I think he's really good.
That's
I think
such a
Cody's good.
good
I think
fight.
all these guys are good. I'm just better. And anyone that stands there like this with me
Is gonna get
is
fucked
gonna
up.
get knocked out.
Yeah,
This is how it is.
And that fighter is like, yeah, I could beat Jose Aldo right now. I could beat
Yeah.
the champ right now. I beat all these. That's why you're Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
And then the business side should be like, oh no, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right, and that's the thing.
Because that's where you're making money.
That's true.
Because I don't know what your contract is right now, but it's like, if you're fighting top 5, like I was fighting Nogueira, he made 7 figures. I made 16 and 16.
Yeah.
Because I fought, I
Yeah.
beat one guy, another guy, beat Crow Cop, and like, damn, he knocked out this legend. All right, here's Nogueira.
That's
But
the thing,
if
yeah.
it was a slower simmer, then you can negotiate, get more money, and that's when you put money in the bank.
Yeah, I think UFC's obviously a smart company, and they're gonna do what they think's best for me. I think the UFC looks at me and thinks, "Oh, this kid's really good." I don't think they look at me and think, "Damn, this kid's fucking great."
Oh,
Like,
you're out of
that's
your
how
mind.
I see
You're out of your mind.
myself.
Oh,
though.
gotcha.
But
But
I think they want to slow it down too. They don't.
Oh,
want,
no, Bubba, you're the chosen.
And it's funny because even before my Contender Series fight, I'm not even in the UFC. I just knocked out David Nuza with a fucking flashy, sweet, one of the sweetest knockouts ever, I think. And before the Contender Series, I said, I have that it thing. I'm going to be a superstar. I'm going to be bigger than Connor. I'm going to go knock out Alfred, and Dana's going to want to sign me. And that was, I've had that confidence for a long time. And
How old are you?
I'm 25. Chael keeps saying 22. On
Does
his
he?
pod. He's like, Sugar's 22. I was like, all right.
Great input. Yeah.
But no, yeah.
So obviously you control your narrative, but do you have good management who's like?
I'm my management.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just fired my manager the fight before the last fight.
Why?
I'm like, okay, I'm paying you more money than you're making me. Like, you're not getting me sponsors.
And he's taking 10% of your
and
purse.
you're taking 10%. And then I get a bonus, and you want a percent of my bonus. You didn't take it because I bitched about it.
Yeah,
but the
you can't
fact
have
that
that.
you even think that you should
That's
get
crazy.
a percent of my bonus.
You have
There's
nothing to do
managers
with
out
that.
there getting 20% of their fighters' purses, and I think they're just, that's not right. They
Hey,
don't deserve
fighters,
that.
if a manager's taking 20%, fire him.
Dude, yeah. Or
And
even,
they should never get a bonus.
No.
They have nothing to do with
And
you
I know
knocking
too many
somebody
people.
out.
I know too many people that are like that. I'm making a lot of money on social media because of what I've done.
Just who you are.
And I'm not. And I do have some guys reaching out now, but I'm not having them on contract right now. I don't have to pay them any of my fight purse. I just got guys helping me out here and there. But as far as management, I sat down with Sean Shelby and I said, let's talk. Like, I'm not Suga. Like, I'm Sean and I'm managing Suga.
And how'd that go?
And it went fucking awesome. I went so good because they're trying to lowball me. I'm trying to fucking get what I feel like I deserve.
It's a
I'm like,
negotiation.
let's meet in the fucking middle and let's not have issues. And he's like, well, we're probably going to. And I'm like, that's
100%
fine.
you have
That's how it
issues,
goes.
As long as it's not personal.
That's the thing. As long as it's
But
not
you
personal.
sat down with them, because I remember you saying, if you want me to fight these top guys, I'm going to be paid like a top guy.
Yeah.
And was that when you sat down with them?
I sat down with him Sunday after the fight, Saturday. Even Sean Shelby, I think they realized, like, damn, I'm getting a lot of buzz fight week. I felt like the whole fight week was about Suga Show. Like, that's, I'm obviously biased, but
But I agree.
my hair,
but I
people are
agree.
like, what? This kid's fucking crazy.
No, we want it. People want to see you fight.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like you're the number one draft pick, and everybody's
Right.
for whatever reason, and this is rare in MMA. I don't read the forums, I don't read comments, but what I feel in my group, which is knows their shit when
Yeah,
they're in the
fuck
fight
yeah.
game. When you're like the number one draft pick, and for whatever reason, everybody roots for you.
Yeah, it's
Which is
sweet.
rare because MMA is pretty toxic,
Right.
and you have your diehards and the haters, and it's kind of split down the middle. But with you, it's like I've never heard anyone say, "Oh, I hope that guy." I've never go, "I hope that guy loses."
Yeah, and it's so fun to be in this position because I've always felt like it's gonna happen. Even when I was 19, 20 years old, as an amateur just turning pro, I'm like, I'm gonna be in this position that I'm in now as long as I'm consistent in the gym, as long as I'm getting better, as long as my
Gotta put the work
skills
in.
are consistently getting
Yeah.
better, and I'm constantly looking for high-level trainers that are black belts in their craft. Like my
Yes.
strength and conditioning coach, a black belt at his thing. Tim is a black belt head coach, I feel like. Tanquino's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. And I'm getting all these guys, and we're creating this team. When you look at some of the best guys in the world, John Jones, you look at his team, he's got a black belt team around him.
Correct.
So I'm trying to build that up, and I feel like we have that right now.
Yeah, I don't think in this day and age in mixed martial arts, especially at the highest level where you're at, especially in your division, I don't think you can do it the old school way, just having a boxing coach
No.
and then kind of do the rest of stuff is on the side. I think you're only as good as your team.
Fuck, dude, that's the truth, and I'm learning. I feel like I went through the old school training camps. I was sparring
Yeah.
hard, fighting, getting concussions, and
Not getting
doing all
paid.
that shit,
Yeah.
not getting paid. And I don't know what's made a switch in me. Maybe that was like 2 years off, something. I'm just like, okay. If you look at these boxing training camps, these guys it's so individualized and so focused on that athlete that I need to do that. And I know, like, my team around me, it's not about money, but the more money I make, the more money I get to pay out.
Better for everybody.
Dude, and it's
you know
how it's
what
working.
the problem you might have down the road is because you're starching dudes. You talk about how great of a camp, so then other fighters go, man, I like what Sugar's about. Then they're going to start coming to your camp. You know what I'm saying? And the
Yeah.
camp gets bigger, bigger, bigger.
That's the thing. We're super, like, Tim has his own gym. We invite people to the gym. Hey, we want to come train. We don't actually have to invite. We get, guys like Tanquino, other guys, high-level black belts are like, hey, can we come roll? Most of our training, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, is usually live grappling from the feet, sometimes
Love
10-minute
it.
rounds, 8-minute rounds. And that's a lot of our training, and then the strength and conditioning. And then we hit mitts sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, when we have a camp book, we're hitting mitts two times a week, 2-3 times a week. But outside of camp, I'm doing strength and conditioning, and I'm grappling. Because I know
Yeah.
these guys that are going to potentially beat me are guys that are going to take me down and hold me down. I feel like my jiu-jitsu is getting... I submitted Takanori Gomi in a high elbow guillotine. I went 8 minutes with Gilbert Melendez in a grappling match.
Oh, damn.
And
He's a monster.
Dude, he's a fucking beast. He's a high-level black belt, way bigger than me.
100%.
We went 8 minutes to a draw, and I feel like my jiu-jitsu is still kind of a secret to guys that don't follow me as closely.
Let them find out
They
the
will.
hard way. You know what I'm saying?
I got
Because
good
once
jiu-jitsu.
you start getting up there with those higher level guys, it's like, yeah, their egos are there, but they didn't get to that point by just being like,
They're
oh,
good.
I have something to prove. I'm going to strike with Suga.
Yeah, fuck
no,
yeah.
no. They're like, we haven't seen his wrestling. Let's see what the fuck.
And there's
this
a couple
about.
guys like Cody Garbrandt. He's not gonna try to take me down. He's gonna stand there and want to try to knock me out. But
That boy hits.
And he does.
Cody Garbrandt hits hard.
He does hit hard.
Were you impressed with that knockout?
I made a video comparing the two.
You know I love the fuck out of you, and I like Cody too. Cody's a buddy. The reason why, I'm telling you in person, the reason why I thought Cody should have got the bonus.
He did. We both did.
You both did.
Yeah.
But if they only gave one, the only reason I said to him is because he's a Sansao who's so tough to finish.
I can agree with
Cody's
that.
coming off 3 losses.
Yeah.
You've never experienced this. Thank God you're undefeated, and hopefully you never have to experience this. I've been in a position where I was coming off 2 losses, and you know your job's on the line, and the pressure is so insane, and his pressure is so insane. He went to fucking New Jersey to seek out Mark Henry, who's to me the best coach in the game, because he's like, I got to switch something up, and so he has a new coach, 3-fight losing streak. He has a kid, he got married, so he has all this going on, and his back's against the wall, and literally his back's against the cage, and he's like this, boom, and maybe it's because I've been there where I was on the 2-fight losing streak, and I could feel how good that felt for him.
Dude,
and with you, it's like, oh, he's gonna do this to everybody to the end of time.
Yeah.
It was a great knockout, and Eddie Wineland's a former champ, so I see that argument. But it's just like
with the circumstances of what he was going through compared to me, I could see that. But if you want to talk about clean knockouts, and you look at any high-level coach, striking coach that looks at those knockouts, and you see whatever the fuck he did, he literally went like this and threw a right hand.
He kept his eyes on him though. That's why I give, because he's like this.
Bro, if he ducks down and I'm a Sunsao like this, and he ducks down, I'm gonna kick him in his fucking head and he's gonna knocked out.
But this is why yours is dope, because were you southpaw?
Orthodox.
You're orthodox, and you went whoop.
It was there was 2 feints there. It was uppercut left hand, so I went boom, boom, boom.
It was so nasty.
And
I
threw
agree,
it about 30 seconds before that. I threw that same one, boom, boom.
Just to set him
landed
up?
it, and I landed it, and it just didn't. It hit him pretty good, but it didn't obviously do much. But what started all that was the spinning body kick.
Yeah.
I've dropped so many people with that liver shot, dude, and I know.
It shows you how tough Eddie Wineland is, though.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Which is good for you.
He
because
went like this,
yeah.
and tried to still punch me.
That's
like
how
if you're
fucking
trying to
tough that
punch
guy is.
someone and
Yeah,
after you
man.
hit the liver, you're a gangster.
Eddie Wineland's a dog, bro.
One of the nicest
a world
guys
champion,
I've
dude.
ever fucking met.
He was a WC world champion.
No,
So
I get
it. That was filthy.
Yeah.
Cody's
was nice though.
Boom.
It was nice. Cody's was nice, and I definitely don't want to say it was worth 50 grand for sure. Like I think both of them were.
I'm glad both of you got them.
I am too.
That was the best card of the year so far. Like performance-wise, it was so entertaining.
Yeah, and Aljo doing what he did against Corey. I didn't know who to pick in that fight. I did pick Corey, but I didn't know.
I love both guys, and I have a big heart for Corey because he's from my hometown. When I was at the gym, his first day I was there, he was a basketball player. He was 16. He walked in, so I saw him from nothing.
Yeah.
And then when they told me he was fighting MMA, I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then he's ranked number 4 in the world.
Dude,
so
beast.
I always root for Corey. I gave him his nickname, Sandman.
Damn, that's
Sandhagen.
sweet.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I always root for him. But Aljamain, do you know Aljamain at all?
Not personally, no. Just a little bit.
He's such a good dude.
He seems like it.
You two would be so entertaining together.
He definitely seems like
you two
a good
on a
dude.
podcast would be fucking nuts.
We have to fight someday.
I know. I'm just saying, like,
but no,
as a business.
I think even when I talk shit, I'm building
business.
fights.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a big pay-per-view someday.
Oh, that'd be huge.
Henry
dude.
Cejudo's already upset about the comments I made. He's already like, I know he'll probably want to fight me when I'm champ too. So
100%. You get him out of retirement.
Fights, yeah.
All right, let's feed you, dude.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Greek chicken wrap, Greek shawarma pita,
Oh, perfect.
a side of falafel balls, some sliders.
Oh, it's gonna be bomb.
How did you get started with that Dana White Contender Series? How's that work?
I don't know if you saw the knockout I had on LFA, the spinning knockout, the kick. Mm-hmm. That was
I've seen that.
Yeah. That was the fight right before that, and I remember, I knew the higher ups, the UFC was probably watching to see talent come up, and I was on like a 4-fight knockout streak or 3. I had a bunch of knockouts in a row, so I figured someone was gonna watch, and I knew the Contender Series was about to come about, like they were talking about it. I'm like, dude, if I can knock this dude out, I can get on the Contender Series. And that it just happened. Knocked that dude out, and then a couple months later, we were on the Contender Series.
Doing work.
Yeah, just doing what we do.
And when you come off the Contender, like when you get that UFC contract, is it similar to Tough, where it's like a 6-fight deal, but it's kind of minimum money? Is that how it works?
It was the regular, it was this 10 to 10 starting
Standard,
out,
yeah.
4-fight contract. They said, you know, you go out there and perform, do good in your debut, we'll renegotiate. And I'm still mad Dana didn't give me 50 G's for that debut. Me and Terrion had a back and forth fight. It was such a sweet fight to me because first round I whooped his ass, second round I gassed out, and you can see I'm like, damn, I'm about to get finished. And then the third round I come back, fucking second win, 3 takedowns. It was fight of the night compared to the girl fight they gave it to.
Yeah.
But that's another story.
And that's and that's good for you though, man, because again, like I said, when it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
You go and knock him out in 15 seconds. You look at your other fights, it's like you're not learning much when you
Right.
starch guys.
No, yeah,
you know this.
Going 3 rounds was so important to me. I had gone 3 rounds as a pro before, but it was just different. That fight I had to dig so deep. Like I went somewhere I'd never been, like in a fight.
You got tested.
Gassed out.
You got tested.
Terrion was a good boxer. I thought I was gonna knock him out in the first round, especially after I saw his legs and saw him at fight week. I'm like, oh shit, this is easy money.
You know what? You were in a fight.
I was in a.
You know what I'm
fucking fight.
saying?
He's
Like a lot of
tough.
times, like Eddie Wineland wasn't a fight. You started that.
But I ate a vegan diet for that fight camp. I was a vegan for 6 months.
Oh, why'd you do
I
that?
was just to say, okay, let's see if I
if you
feel
can do
better,
it?
and it sucked.
Did you feel better?
No, I didn't feel horrible, but I'm like, and then I started eating meat again. I'm like, Jesus, why did I ever do that? But I didn't knock him out. I wasn't eating. I didn't have no power. I was hitting him right on the chin. I hit him on the chin, 100 times.
Where most guys would be lights
He'd
out.
be, if I fought him now, or
Yeah.
if, with this, it's like, okay, that's a first round KO. Then when I fought Andre, you know, that obviously went 3 rounds too. And I dealt with a lot of adversity. I fucking broke my foot with 3 minutes left in the fight. And I was still working. He took me down like an idiot, and I got up like a bigger idiot. I got up and I realized I couldn't walk. He takes me down again, and I got up again. So a lot of people were saying how stupid he was, but I feel like I was just as stupid trying to get up.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I'm like, I'm losing the fight if I'm on my back. Nowadays, I don't feel like that because I'm so dangerous off my back.
The only thing is with the judges, you're losing the fight, right?
Right. God, they don't know shit. It's crazy. They don't know.
Isn't it crazy?
It
Isn't
is.
judging insane?
In the UFC, the biggest fight promotion in the world, and we got fucking judges that are not this. I better not say anything. Now that I'm gonna fight, they're gonna be like, nah, he lost.
No, they're not gonna do shit.
No, but it is wild. It's trippy.
How have you felt fighting during Corona stuff? Were you worried about any of it?
Our training was the same. I didn't miss a practice. Like I said, I don't go out. I don't do anything. I go to the
Just train.
gym. I go home. I go to the gym. I go home. That's my life. So people that kept asking me like, how was it different? It wasn't different. Nothing was different. The only thing different was fight week. You know, we were locked in the hotel for most of the time. But
Was that weird?
it wasn't too weird because I don't know. Nothing seems weird anymore.
What about not fighting with a crowd? Which
That
you're
was a little
kind of used to
different.
that on the Contender Series, right?
Yeah, for me, I show up. It doesn't matter where we're at. I'm gonna show up and perform. This is what I do. So I wasn't worried about that. But if I do looking back, I've rewatched the fight a bunch, and I'm like, could you imagine the crowd? It would have been electric. It would have
This
been.
is my thing with your Eddie
Oh.
Wineland fight. That knockout, can you imagine the crowd when he knocked him out like that? Especially to kick off the main card.
Walk off like that. Bink.
Walk-off home run.
Walk off KOs are the sweetest. They're the fucking
I think
sweetest.
Rogan called yours the greatest walk-off KO.
I know, that's fucking sweet. Just to hear him say that was legendary in my mind. That was
To me,
so
it's
sweet.
between you and then Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt's walk-off KOs are fucking
Dude,
nuts.
they are. He's definitely up there for sure. But I feel like I still have so many more to come, and I've been doing that. You know, that was my first. That was my second. That was my third. I've been doing it for a while, so I still got a lot more knockoffs to come. Or yeah, walk-offs, knockoffs.
So what's next, brother?
Yeah, hopefully.
If you're Scrooge McDuck, you're Dana White, and they're in the office today, and they're sitting around, Sean Shelby's there, and everybody's there, the Golden Snitch is there, right? And they're all getting together. And they're all right, when's Sean O'Malley fighting? And who's he fighting?
Just took a fucking huge bite right
I
before
know,
that
right?
fight.
This is tough. You also got a burrito from a Mediterranean place. How is it?
It's fucking good.
I'll tell you what I don't like is when they do the fusions. Like if you came here, you know, I don't get to pick the food trucks. They just line them up and they've all been great except for one. But when they come and it's like Thai Mexican, it's like, what the fuck, dude? It's never,
this
just
is
do
bomb.
one thing good,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
this
It's
is
like
bomb.
those shampoos. The body wash and shampoo.
It's like an 8-in-1.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, they're stupid. But what would be next for me, ideally? I'll bring up the smaller cage. So I can fight in Vegas in a smaller cage. Vegas, super convenient, 4-hour drive, got my own vehicle. The last 5 fights were in Vegas. Fucking love fighting in Vegas. Fought at the Apex already, so that's ideal. The cage, 44% smaller. That fucks me a little bit as far
It's
as
terrible for someone like you. So for the viewers, a guy with good footwork who's a striker, you want distance for timing, and just to, you know, that's what
That's
you
my
do.
style,
That's
just
your
moving.
advantage.
Yeah.
So with a smaller cage, it's
way smaller.
Way
almost
smaller.
half. So it's either that or I fight in Fight Island. Horrible flight.
The
unfamiliar.
worst flight of all time. Dude.
Unfamiliar
It's so
territory. Just I don't.
You are on an island, but who gives a fuck?
I would perform. I'd show up and perform, but the cage is probably bigger. It's probably the normal size cage, which is a huge advantage. So there's my issue there. Do I want to fight Fight Island, good cage? Fight in Vegas, small cage. I think I would pick Vegas probably just because it's super nice fighting there. I'd like to fight in August. You know, have a full, fight. July will be a training camp.
You've had 2 fights this year already?
2 fights.
So you'd have 1 in August, and then shit, dude. Were you
I
going
could
for
fight-
5 fights this year?
I could fight 5, 4. It don't matter to me. If I'm healthy, I like to fight, and that's the thing about fighting. Okay, if I fight number 5, now I have to fight number 4, whatever. So if I fight Cheeto, who's not ranked, because I kicked him out the rankings, it's like we still have options.
Hell yeah. It's a great fight, too.
yeah.
And he's a really, really good fighter.
He's good. He's
And
a
it's
black belt in jiu-jitsu. I think he beat Song, so I think he's on a 6-fight win streak, 5 finishes. He finishes people in the later rounds. He's tough. He's got good
I'm sure he's
cardio,
down for a
durable.
fight.
Yeah, so I mean, that's up to the UFC. I think you know how it is. The UFC, 2 guys say they want to fight. That not mean they're fighting. That's just how it is. John Jones, Francis, and then we got the money issues and shit. But
I think you're going to be okay. I think you're going to get that Cheeto fight.
so that's an option in August, I would assume. That's probably what's next, but a lot of things could happen. I don't know if he's got a little injury, can't train.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you follow sport? Do you watch all fights? Or are you one of those guys who don't know who anybody is?
I don't know very many people. I'm not a diehard. I'm not a hardcore fan of the sport. As far as I am and I'm not. I don't know. There's too many fucking fights.
There's too many.
There's too many fighters. I don't know.
As a retired guy, I like it because it gives me something to do
Yeah.
and talk about on my
Yeah,
show, but
definitely.
I don't know
All of them.
70% of the people.
But then I play Xbox. I stream on Twitch. I play Xbox with my subscribers, and they're die-hard UFC fans. They're like, oh, this guy's coming off a way, blah, blah.
Really?
They know where they train. They know fucking their last 3 fights. They know their reach.
That's
they know,
beautiful.
And it made me realize, oh shit, I'm not a hardcore fan. Like I'll watch it if there's a big pay-per-view or if
It
there's
might
an
be better if
interesting
you're not
fight.
hardcore, though, you know?
Yeah,
To get away from it.
Yeah, I don't. It's definitely nice not thinking about it all the time. I have other shit I think about, Twitch, streaming and shit like that, the
Yeah.
podcast and shit like that.
Yeah, because you're 24,
5.
25. Chael thinks you're 22.
20.
So you're 25. You're 18 years old. No, just kidding.
No, yeah.
You're 25. You know, you're making good money. Are you smart with your money or you're a bit of a knucklehead?
I'm rich. I'm rich.
Are you rich?
Yeah.
Well, rich is all relative, right? Rich
I mean-
compared to who, brother?
I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good. What do you do with your money?
It's all in the bank. I bought a house when I was 20. I bought a house before I was in the Contender Series.
How?
My girl and I did.
How? What were you doing?
I had, it was mostly her. I had sponsors coming in monthly. Not
So your
a lot.
girl bought a house.
Well, I think I won like $5,000-$6,000 off the LFA fight with sponsors
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah.
So we had a little down payment. We got a little house.
In
And we've
Phoenix?
Had, yeah. And we've
Smart.
had the house for 5 years.
Great investment.
And I'm about to put down a fat down payment for a new house and basically have it paid off. And I don't have any bills. I don't have any. I have 2 cars. They're both paid off. I have a Slingshot and a 2006 Nissan Altima that I'm starting to cruise. I got rid of my Subaru. I have no bills. And I'm taking care of my money, definitely.
Smart, man.
Yeah.
Smart, really smart.
Yeah.
Especially if I was 25 with your money, I'd probably do some pretty Listen, I'm 37, I do outlandish shit with my money. That card is out
It's
of
ridiculous.
control.
Yeah,
It's
definitely
fucking
is. I'm
stupid.
sure it was very expensive.
Yeah. But, so you're smart with your money. What do you do with your off time? You just chill with your girl? I know you're a homebody. You play Twitch a lot.
Yeah, I stream. We got the podcast we do. Tim and JX, they actually live together. They live pretty close, not far from me.
And your podcast is good. I've watched a few,
Yeah, it's
man.
fucking fun.
Whenever
We
I see fighters doing podcasts, I
Yeah.
usually tune in just see what the hell's going on.
Yeah, we just talk about fucked up shit. Like,
It's not a
it's
fight
nice.
podcast.
Not necessarily,
No.
but it's nice being able to not have to monitor myself like most people, most kind of adults really. Like, I can't say that because it might fuck with my job. I can pretty much say anything on the podcast and I'm good. I don't have anyone saying, hey, I don't think you should say that. And early on in my career, I had adults telling me that. Don't post about weed.
Oh,
Don't
tell
do
them to
this.
shut the fuck up.
All the time was getting told that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna do whatever I want, like I've done since I was little.
You gotta be true to yourself though, because if weed's your
Exactly.
thing, talk about weed.
Yeah.
You know,
And
as
I'm
long
not
as you're not
even-
hurting, if you're talking about promoting violence or
Yeah.
something stupid, then yeah.
And even on the
definitely
podcast, we talk about smoking weed. If you're fucking old enough, if you're mental, if you're healthy and you're able to handle it as an adult, you're good. But if you're 17 years old in high school and you're a lazy fuck, I
Yeah.
don't think you should smoke weed.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the weed what makes you lazy,
No.
or the weed's just
No.
gonna aid,
Enhance
yeah,
your
enhance.
laziness. But for me, if I didn't start smoking until I was 19, but if I would have started smoking in Montana, I don't know if I would have made it down here because I would have chose to probably smoke and be lazy
Yeah.
instead of do what I was doing, which was training. So I think I definitely promote it in a good way.
I think it's so smart that you start a podcast right now while things are booming, because most guys will start a podcast when, they're on their last leg or
Yeah,
something like that,
yeah.
or they'll see someone in the podcast game who's making money, like, oh, I'm gonna do that
Right.
too. But now you're doing it now, and especially with your
Yeah.
fan base, they're on this journey with you. It was the
Right.
smartest thing I ever did, man.
Yeah, we did I think we started it a little over a year ago, and we were consistent with it. So we have a good amount of old podcasts that people can go listen to, because everyone's typing in Suga on YouTube, Suga on Google.
Yeah.
And it's popping up, so they have a lot of content that they can go and look up and kind of get to know who I am. Because when you're doing a podcast, and I have however many episodes, we have 80-something podcasts, like, that's a lot of hours that those guys are getting to know me. When I'm on the podcast, I'm just being my true self. I'm
That's
not
a
being
real Suga,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm just being stupid and saying shit. And so I feel like they get to know me, and I think that helps me connect with my fans a lot.
That's the best thing you can do, but it's not for everyone. You see a lot of
Definitely
knuckleheads do it, and podcasting, it's not that easy.
Right.
Anybody can do it, but to make a good podcast and actually make one that people can tune into is not easy. But so I think for especially a guy like you who's, you speak well, you're a smart dude, you got a lot going on, your career's booming, for people to be able to tune in and see the real you on a podcast is priceless, dude. And then when
Right.
you're done, what you're doing is you're basically investing in yourself. Because when you're, let's say you fight for 10 years, you've had this podcast for 10 years, and you're only getting bigger, that podcast is going to be one of the biggest in the world. When you retire, you don't have to do shit.
Yeah.
Dude. All you got to do is talk on that podcast.
Dude, that's the thing, and it's nice that I don't feel like I do anything that I don't want to do. Like, I'm jacked to go do a podcast. If we get an hour every week or whatever it is, sometimes we'll do solo podcasts for our Patreon and stuff, and we'll do a little bit more, but I'm usually jacked to go to that podcast. Like, I was jacked to
should
come
be.
here. I was jacked to go
Hell
to
yeah.
Theo's yesterday. Like, doing this stuff is so fun. So it doesn't even feel like, if I wasn't making money, I'm like, probably still would do it. It's still fucking fun.
Yeah, I never started because I want to make money.
Yeah.
I just do it because I love doing it.
Yeah,
it's
I
fun to
enjoy
talk
it.
to my buddies.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the color and the hair and all that shit come from?
I wanted it. We talked about doing it. I think it was for my debut. I'm like, let's do it. I was a little nervous to do it. I'm like, I just don't. I want people to know I got skill and
You don't want it to
and
be a
establish it.
distraction.
I want to establish I got real skills and I'm good. That I'm not a joke.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy. About 10 days before the fight, I'm playing Xbox with my boys, and my buddy Schmitty's like, you should do your hair like 6ix9ine. I'm like, dude, I've actually thought about doing my hair like crazy colors. And my girl does hair. Danny, she's a fucking black belt in hair. Like, that's what she does. She's been doing it for 10 years. And so we went to her studio, and we did it. And it turned out.
Because that's not easy,
No, it took
It's
hours.
a nightmare, dude.
We had to bleach it completely blonde,
which hurts.
which fucking hurts.
Yeah, I've done that.
I'm like, are you sure my head's supposed to feel like it's on fire?
know.
And they're like, no, yeah, it's okay. I'm like, are you sure?
It's the worst.
Like, it was bad. I was definitely being a bitch, but yeah. So it took, and then she had to braid it, and then she had to do a bunch of stuff. So it took about 10, 11, 12 hours, somewhere around there.
Beast.
Yeah, it was, but in 3 different sessions.
And you're gonna leave it like that?
I like it. I've been taking care of it, and the color's been sticking pretty good.
Don't go in the ocean, brother.
No, yeah, I haven't. I actually want to dip, but not get the hair wet. Wear my
Yeah.
shower cap. But
Oh yeah, we're like a speedo.
it'd be
thing.
sweet.
That'd be sick.
I think for each fight, I want to switch it up. And if I'm fighting somebody, you know, from another country, maybe do it with my hair, their
That'd be cool.
color.
I
I
dig
feel like
that.
I have it's so weird. I feel like I have so many fans in Russia and just all over the world.
Yeah,
it's
fight fans like you,
fucking
man, and
crazy.
they're all over.
Fight fans are the best because they are all over the world. It's insane.
It's cool.
In my chat, I'll be streaming, hey, from everywhere you can think of. Everywhere. They're popping up.
Do you
It's
read?
so sweet.
Do you read comments?
I don't have an issue. I feel like I don't take comments personally. So lately, I've been reading the comments because I've been posting some funny shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know my fan base is pretty positive, like
Yeah.
95%. And those negative ones that I do read, I'm able to laugh at them like, what that guy's fucking. Usually they're funny.
But I mean, I'm sure they're out there, but it's like you're not reading the ones who say stuff about your skill set or stuff like that.
Well, if someone says about my skill set, they're stupid because I'm high level. And it's just
You know how
doesn't
haters
make
are.
sense.
These
Yeah.
losers though have no idea what they're talking
Yeah,
about.
definitely.
But I'd be concerned because, again, you are 25 and social media, I don't care who you are, man. It can take a toll on you.
No, yeah, I feel like I don't take anything personally. If someone's commenting something negative on my post, I'd go in, I pretend I'm them, and I'm like, damn, my life sucks. I'm probably miserable. I'm probably not, I probably deal with a lot of anxiety, depression, and I'm gonna post how I feel on someone else's page. So I almost feel bad for them.
Yeah, me too. I feel bad for them, but it's almost like, especially from their point of view in their mom's basement, like
Right.
they wanted to do something that you're probably doing. They never lived their dreams because they're too scared. They just didn't have the opportunity. So they see you, and there's a lot. I always say with my haters, there's a lot to hate on, dude.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
a lot of shit going on. There's a lot to hate on with
yeah.
Sean O'Malley.
And those same people that tweet that stuff and Instagram that stuff, I'm walking down here and they see me.
Oh, they're
Whoa,
freaking out.
can I get a pic?
I know they're freaking out.
And I'm like, sure, fuck it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, a lot of people call me Suga Shane. I get that all the time because it
I've
rolls
done
off
that
the
before.
tongue.
Yeah, I've done that
I get it all the
before.
time. Even yesterday down at the beach, Suga Shane, can I get a picture? It's just funny. It just rolls off the tongue.
Where's the name Sugar come from?
That's a good question. My first coach, Johnny Aho, back in Helena, Montana, you had to train at the gym for 6 months before he would come up with a name and give it to you. So he knew you were, gonna,
Like the
gonna
name
show up.
whisperer? He gives everybody their names?
Exactly.
Hell
But
yeah.
the first one was Spider. I'm like, I don't know. I don't like that. I didn't feel like it was good. He's like, okay, I'll think of something else. And then he thought of Sugar, and he's like, you're just so sweet to watch fight. And I'm like, Sugar Sean.
Ooh, I dig
That
that.
was nice. Yeah, I like that. It
dig
fit
it.
perfect.
Do you have any say in the merch? Because I think Rogan and I both wore your tie-dye shirt, the first Reebok tie-dye shirt.
I got a Royals, or
The royalty?
Royalty from the
What, they give you
Reebok.
10 cents or some
Bro,
shit?
if I read it right, which I think I did, and then I even sent it to my dad, I'm like, did I read this right? And he said yes. So unless we're both can't read, they made over $1 million. Reebok made over $1 million on all my merch, and I got like $3,000. I'm like, what the?
No, you both can read.
It's ridiculous. Well, I'm like, I thought I got 15%. Like, well, you get 15% of this,
Gross and
but of this,
Yep,
and then
yep.
these guys get it, and then you get 50% of that. I'm like, holy
it's dirty.
shit, so you guys are fucking me. And then they make all these sweet shirts on Reebok. I'm like, damn. I tell people, I'm like, don't buy that. Don't buy that.
Do you
I
have
wouldn't
your
put
own?
I've been putting out my own shirts, a little
Did
here
you do
and there.
a tie-dye one?
I haven't yet. I'm actually talking to a huge, I'm talking to a really, really, really big agency. I don't know if I should say their name or not. I don't think it matters, but
About merch and stuff?
about managing me, but not for fights, just for all
Outside
that
of the
stuff.
cage, yeah,
A big
100%.
high level, so it's a big company. So hopefully that will get all figured out, and then merch will come with that. I want to make sure we're doing it right.
Yeah, you do it right, but then you can just go direct to the fans. So just
Yeah.
cut out let Reebok do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Dude.
They're gonna be gone, and I think the contract's up
Yeah.
at the end of this year.
Yeah.
But you could be making a killing, especially with fan base, social media.
Oh, yeah.
Just off your own shit.
Right. Yeah. And so that's exciting, and I like being a part of that creative kind of design. Like I'll get on the internet and look up custom T-shirt designs and start making my
100%,
own
dude.
shit and kind of get an idea and see what people like. And
You crush
it's so
that.
fun.
Yeah, crush that.
The fans make it all. They make the whole journey so much more fun. Because without the fans, we're just fighting's still fun. I'd still fight. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but it wouldn't be the same. Like I wouldn't be able to live this life
Yeah.
style that I'm able to live without the fans. So it's cool.
So where do you go from here, brother?
We go. we go.
You did this.
We
You
go
did
up.
Deal Show. You did this. You go back to Phoenix.
Yeah, maybe find. Hopefully, oh, they're not over there. Hopefully, we can find a couple chicks to hang out with tonight.
Your girl's probably gonna see this.
That's okay. We're good. It's not that. No, we've been together for a long time, and
It's like an open relationship type of
yeah,
thing.
and it was before I was, you know, Suga. It had nothing to do with. Well, it had nothing to do with that. It's like I'm gonna live my life, and do you love me? You want me to enjoy my life? If she could, you know, it's super mutual. It's like if we're the boys hanging out in Santa Monica, and
What's a dick suck on Venice Beach?
dude, what exactly? If I had a good time and I come home tomorrow, hey, I had this great time, this bitch, whatever. She should be like, oh damn, cool. That's cool. Like happy for me. And that,
I like your philosophy, and I'm proud of you for it. But now, But if she's like, hey, I was cutting this dude's hair and I
that's
fucked
the thing.
him.
That's the thing. I
cool
have
with
to
it
be.
too?
What am I gonna say? You can't do that. You can't. If she wanted to, and that's her enjoying her life. What am I?
God bless you, Sean.
It's not like I'm gonna just deal with it easy. I'm gonna probably have to deal with some feelings that arise, some insecurities that pop up from my childhood, from high school, from whatever, and I navigate through that. And I love her. I love her so much that I'm like, if that was something you felt you needed to do, that's okay.
God
and
bless you.
We'll see when I deal with it. But so far, the stuff that we have dealt with, you know, we always come out on the end. Like we've had our cries, we've had our talks. We've always came out like, oh my God, I love you more.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, it's super
She's like
cool.
your best friend.
Definitely my best friend. Definitely some, you know, like.
Because my best friend let me fuck other people, but my girl won't.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what we talk about. Like, you're my best friend. But yeah, so hopefully we can go out tonight and hang out with some chicks.
Oh,
but
good.
if not, I mean, last night we didn't score. We tried.
Score.
We didn't score. It's a fun game.
It's tough to score during Corona times.
It
There you go.
is. It's like, wait, you wearing a mask? I'm like, what?
Do you wear the mask?
Yeah.
Girls are scared to come out.
I know, that's the thing. I gotta be careful too. It's not just any, you know, you gotta be careful.
No, you can't be any warlock off Venice Beach.
yeah, so
we got
hopefully-
standards around
Yeah,
here.
exactly. Some of us, dude.
Yeah, because you
Tim,
can't. Tim
he'll
takes him
one
down.
for the team.
Tim
He'll
takes
take
him-
one for the team proudly.
Tim would jump on a grenade.
You jump on a grenade.
Tim would jump on the grenades.
Happily.
You need guys like
I'm like, you don't
Tim.
even have to. No, I will.
No. She doesn't have any friends, dude. You're just hooking up with a fat chick.
No, that's her friend. That's right. I got it.
That's
I
a
got
friend.
it.
No, she does have friends though.
No, but it's fun hanging out with the boys. That's what's nice. Like coming on trips with Danny, my girl. Like we can have a good ass time and go out. But it's like, okay, the guys are going out and we're gonna have fun. So it's cool. And I'm excited we get it one more night here.
Love it, brother. I've been wanting you on the show for a while. You know I love you, man.
Yes,
the sky
thank
is
you,
the
bro.
limit, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank you.